Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth here from Neverland Creative, and today I'm going to be going through my process for weeks 8 and week 9 in my project life for 2018. So if you've been following my channel, you probably know that I've been slacking a little bit in the last weeks, and that is because my printer ran out of ink. And since I print pretty much everything with my printer at home, including photos and my journaling cards and everything like that, that puts quite a damper on my creativity when I no longer have printer ink. So as you can see, all of the journaling cards that I have for week 8 are actually going to get reprinted. And that is because, as you can see, the colors are extremely wonky. That one blue card that has the quote on it is actually supposed to be green, and it came out this really weird streaky blue. So I am going to be reprinting all of my journaling cards for this week and inserting them in the layout at a later time, which you're going to see at the end of this process. But I really just wanted to get this layout done, because if I hadn't and I'd waited for my printer ink to arrive, I would have been something like 5 weeks behind, and I really didn't want that. So what I'm doing for this week is really simple. I'm just going to be embellishing my photos, and I'm going to be using some cork embellishments from various Studio Calico kits that I've had for a couple of years now. I think they're from the 2015 kits, I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to be using those as my embellishments for my photos, and I'm also going to later on add some of these word phrase stickers from Ali Edwards' Day in a Life kit. And what you can see me doing right now is just adding the dates to my title card. And that title card is from the Fabric Story Kit, and I just used a couple of cork alphas to spell out week of, and then I'm going to be using these Bella Boulevard Tiny Text alphas in pink to spell out the dates for this week 8 in my project life. So as you can see, this layout turned out to be extremely simple. So simple that I almost thought of just skipping the process video for this altogether and just showing you a flip of what it ended up looking like. But since I'd already recorded it and everything, I just thought I would give you a little bit of a sneak peek of how I did the process and then move on to week 10, or week 9, sorry. So this is pretty much the completed layout. Again, I used the Fabric Story Kit cards as well as a few others, and you'll be able to see my final layout coming up. Alright, so this is my finished layout for week 8. As you can see, I did a few things after my process video actually ended. I added some staples to my cork embellishments, and then one of these word phrase stickers that I got from Ali Edwards' Day in the Life kit. And I just added one of those plus the staple to each of those cork embellishments because I felt like it looked kind of plain with just the cork on there. So there we have it. Week 8 all finished. On to week 9. This layout ended up coming together really well, even though it was a little bit out of my wheelhouse. Instead of using my Ali Edwards products or a product that came in a kit like the Feed Your Craft kit or something like that, I ended up actually using some cards that I have hoarded for a long time. As you can see right there, I have a ton of Project Life cards, and those are from the Studio Calico, Beautiful Mess, and Felicity Jane subscription boxes from around 2015. So as you can see, they almost all have rounded corners, which I don't use. I've never actually used the ones with rounded corners, so I'm going to figure out a little hack around that, because as much as I want to be cool enough to use one rounded card and then all the other ones be straight edged, I'm not that cool. That really bothered me, so I'm going to actually cut that one a little tiny bit, and you'll see what I do there. So I'm just going through my 4x6 cards. I think about using that quote card and that black card right there with all the text on it, but I decided that both of those just weren't right, and I ended up stumbling on this one card from Felicity Jane, I believe it's from Felicity Jane. It looks like Felicity Jane. And it says Bloom and Grow and has all of these really spring colors on it. And you might be thinking, why are you using pastel-y spring colors in the middle of February? And that's because for us here in New York, we actually had a really warm spell in late February in beginning of March. We went up to 57 degrees, as you can see by that weather card right there. And this card and these colors really spoke to me. I've been really struggling with the winter lately. This is our second year in New York, and I have I'm sick of snow, guys, like seriously. So this layout and color palette really spoke to me and made me think of spring, and it was feeling so spring that week that I thought it was perfect, even though it's not actually the season of spring when I'm doing this layout. So as you can see, I'm just trying to figure out which cards I actually want to include on this layout. I picked out the one of the little girl that says never grow up, which really reminded me of my daughter in the stage that she's in. She's just in such a cute little stage, and I find myself thinking all the time, just don't grow up, just stay little, which of course doesn't happen, but a mom can dream, right? And I also punched out that little artist sentiment, and I'm going to use that on the yellow and gray card down at the bottom. And here I am with all of my journaling printed out. And as you can see, that diagonal card right there that I have printed looks remarkably alike to that diagonal card that I have already on my layout. And that is because it is a scanned image of that diagonal card I already had. So pretty much I just scanned my Bloom and Grow card and my diagonal card into my computer, and I recolored the diagonal card to kind of match the Bloom and Grow card a little better, because as you can see in the one that's on the layout right now, it's really dark and there's not a lot of other dark colors on my layout, so I just used my Photoshop Friday process for recoloring journal cards, and I just used that on the scan card. And I think it turned out really well. Now I am just adhering the journaling bits to each of my 3x3 photos. That is one of my favorite things to do on my layouts because it gives a little bit more white space, and it allows me to have journaling under the photos without having just like this big block of journaling as one of the cards, like a 3x4 or 4x6 card. So I really like how that worked out. And I do have this snippet, which is an Instagram screenshot of Brandy Kincaid's comment on one of my layouts. I think it was the layout for week 7. So I cut that a little bit, and I'm going to add that to this one card, which I believe is from Felicity Jane as well. And I do end up doing something to that afterward, but can I just fangirl over the fact that Brandy commented on my Instagram post just for a second? You guys, it made my day. Seriously, made my day that she commented and liked my photo. So I am moving on to the embellishments, and I'm actually using these Citrus Twist exclusive embellishments. They're made by Pink Fresh, but they're Citrus Twist exclusives. I don't remember the month. I'm thinking February, January, something like that. I will try to link that in the description below. But the colors matched really well with the cards that I'd already picked out, and I remembered that and was like, yeah, I'm going to totally use these embellishments to embellish my layout. So here I am just kind of going through all of my embellishments. It's a very long process, so I cut out a little bit for you. So here I am with all of my embellishments picked out, and I'm just adding a few things to each of my cards. I picked this little blue star to add to the little artist embellishment I already had on that card in the right hand corner. And I'm also going to add this tag that says my favorite and a larger yellow star onto the photo of my daughter coloring. And I just attached the star with a staple, and that works really well for me. And I'm just moving my way through the spread using the embellishments that I've already picked out. I add a good day sticker or label to that photo of my daughter painting in the bathtub, and I'm going to add the word loving that you see right there in blue to that the card with the diagonal lines on it that I had recolored. So you'll see me do that right now. And I actually ended up pretty good that it fit in that little corner because it seemed like it was a tight spot, but it did end up fitting. And on those Polaroid photos, I decided that I did want to add a little something to connect the photo and the journaling, so I ended up using a tiny blue star to connect those two together. So I just added that between them, and I also added a label that said New Adventure onto the photo of my daughter eating yogurt. And as I said before, this layout came together really well for me. I'm really excited for how easy it was to put together. So I'm just adding the little possibilities label and a yellow star to that photo of my daughter and I. And now I'm going to be working on the photo of the Instagram snapshot. So as you can see, I pulled up the card, and now I'm trying to figure out a way to cover the piece of the card that I kind of lifted up when I was taking off the photo. So I do end up finding a label that says good time, and then another yellow label kind of shaped like a ticket that says the big expedition, and neither of those sentiments really go with what I'm journaling, but the colors did, and they were the right shape, so that's what I went with. So I still have that photo of my daughter's artwork left, and that's going to go in the bottom left corner, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with that, so I just went on to stamping my dates on that little label sticker and added a little heart from that Citrus Twist Kit embellishment pack, and that is going to be my title card done. So now I am moving on to that photo of my daughter's artwork, and as you can see, I'm using a bit of vellum to make a 4x6 card, and then I'm going to adhere my the artwork that I wanted to add onto that vellum piece. Now that's not what I was planning on doing when I first thought of this. I was actually planning on putting the vellum on top of the card with all of her drawings on there, but I didn't end up liking how blurry it ended up looking, and I just really didn't care for it. So I ended up just putting it on top of the vellum 4x6 card and then adhering this little label that says today, and I added the date of when she did the drawing, and then just another blue star. I do end up changing the position of that star, but that's pretty much that card all completed, and that means that my layout is done. So I really hope you enjoyed my process for weeks 8 and 9, and I'm excited to continue working on my Project Life album for 2018. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.